Sexy Dracula is back. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with episode 2 of Dracula 2020. So, a few months ago, we did the first of these episodes. It's a 3-episode mini-series, and we're treating this kind of like a specialty reaction, hence the specialty reaction thumbnail and everything, to the point where it's basically going to be just this thing we occasionally do. So the next episode of this won't be right away. It might be a couple months from now, just whenever I choose I want to get to it. But yeah, we're doing this today because I just thought it was a fun idea. And I'm excited to see what happens. Last time we left off, Harker's dead. Mina and Van Helsing, I think, escaped. And Van Helsing, by the way, I think is a woman in this one, which is an interesting twist. And then we had Dracula coming into the convent and killing all the nuns after Harker let him in. So, fun. There's also a magic circle or something in there as well. So I'm very curious to see where this ends up going. I'm sure there'll be a recap, I would hope. Giving us a little more info and showing us more of what happened in the first episode. But, like, we get the gist. It was a lot of the very general Dracula stuff. A lot of it was, like, pretty much what you would expect. And so, yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. So I just don't want to waste any time. I think we should get right into it. Let's check it out, see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. What a twist at the end. That was like kind of out of nowhere. I kind of like how it was done though. Because it's like it felt enough out of nowhere that it was kind of surprising. And it really, I feel it really worked. I feel like it worked, but I can see some people not really liking the idea. This is not supposed to be clearly a faithful adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel. It's a new take on it. There's a lot of notable changes. There's a lot of differences, and I'm fine with that. I have no issue. Um, but while that's the case, this is quite a big change. Because at the end there, it's like you don't expect that suddenly that much time has passed out of nowhere. But then it's like he steps foot on the shore, and it's like, oh, hey, I'm in England, and everything, and then suddenly helicopter. Ooh, what? That felt like super out of nowhere. And then the police roll up, and one of them is Agatha. I mean, I understood that she had the vampire's curse in her too, like she mentioned that. So I guess she survived, made it back well before him, and just like created a new life for herself. Unless we're supposed to believe this is like her descendant or something. But I don't know. It's like she looks exactly the same, sounds exactly the same, knew who he was, knew somehow when he was going to appear. It's gotta be her. Like I can't see it being anyone else. I'm very curious as to hear like more about this. That also means that next episode is going to take place in the modern day. The next episode is going to be Dracula in the modern era. And again, I can see some people being upset by this. I don't know what the general consensus on this show is, one way or the other. I could see like some people finding it like either bad because it's not faithful, or just, you know, a dumb idea or whatnot. But I like it. I think it's a fun concept. Because, like, yeah, Dracula in the modern day kind of has been done before, but it's not done as often as you would think. It's really not. And I feel like with the likes of Mark Gatiss and oh, I can't think of his name right now. Hold on. I think I have the Dracula 2020 page up because I was looking at it before. Oh no, I have the page up for the actor, for Clive Russell. That's what I was looking at. Stephen Moffat, that's who I was trying to think of. But with Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat developing this, both of them having worked on Doctor Who and Sherlock, it's like I can see them doing some really fun stuff with this. Which again, you either take it or you hate it. It's one or the other. So we'll see how it goes next time when we do that, whenever that ends up being. But yeah, so this episode was pretty much focused entirely on the trip of the Demeter. It was. I mentioned it reminded me of the movie The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which came out a couple years back, and I really liked, even if some people didn't. Which was a movie that was, you know, built entirely around just the trip of the Demeter from the Dracula story. And this episode pretty much did the same thing. It's practically the length of a short movie, so it's pretty much equivalent. But yeah, it's centered around this trip specifically. We end up finding out that the entire framing device of like Dracula telling the story to Agatha was like fake, because it was all in her head as he was slowly feeding on her during the entire trip, because she had been brought up upon the Demeter as well. We found out Dracula was the benefactor behind a couple of the different characters on board. And in the end, only a handful of people survive. And I say a handful because there actually were other survivors besides Victor and Marius at the end. Because remember, Clive Russell's character, and then the rest of the crew, not the passengers, but the crew members, left with one of the lifeboats, or a couple of the lifeboats. Because that's why there was only one left at the end. the others escaped, like in the dead of night. So some of them just got away. But in terms of the passengers, only two passengers actually survived besides Agatha and Dracula. And yeah, Marius and Victor were probably the two I would have wanted to survive the most. Like honestly, of anyone on that ship, they were probably like the two I would have wanted to. You would think like, oh, what about the doctor and his daughter and everything? And it's like, yeah, they seem nice and everything, but it's like we didn't get to know them as much. Victor and Marius almost seemed like two of the main characters on the ship, more so than many of the others. Their focus was a lot higher. Like Marius, we got to almost follow even before a little bit. Was seeing him taking the real Piotr's position and everything, and his connection with Victor as the journey went along was really like enchanting and really fun. I really like the paprika joke. That was just, it was genuinely really funny. Um, and I love how that kind of became a connecting tissue for them to bond. But it's like, and I'm not saying that they're the only characters that had like any kind of like depth to them or any kind of character, because all of them did to some degree. But they're the ones that felt like the most developed to me. Again, outside of Agatha and Dracula. Um it was a very interesting trip. I like seeing like the crew whittled away one by one, all the different ways Dracula lured them out, and the different manipulations and gaslighting he was doing to trick others into not believing it was him. And even the one manipulation he did to the one guy to get him to step out of the Bible circle. Like that was fun in and of itself. The characters were pretty good. Like outside of recognizing Sasha Dewan, from being the Master in Doctor Who, um, to recognizing Clive Russell by his voice more than anything, because of the recently released One Piece live action season 2. It's like it's just fascinating to me, because I didn't expect to see like necessarily much of anyone in this that I recognized. And yet like I start this and pretty much instantly, like really quickly, really early on, I recognize two different actors. And it's just like, "Oh, well that's cool." And for two very different roles. Um but that's really fun. So that really kind of like made me almost a little more invested in this. Just it's always nice to watch something that you don't expect to see anyone you know in, and then you find actors that you do recognize, and it's like, oh, well, that just makes that just makes this more fun. It makes it more like investing. I like seeing I'm enjoying seeing these actors in something else because I've only ever seen them in one other thing. So yeah, um, that was a very pleasant surprise. I like how a lot of this was obviously done, during nighttime scenes, and there's a lot of darkness in it. But it never felt like it was too dark. I've seen some shows and movies where things are a little too dark, a little hard to make out, but it never felt like that. It felt like the lighting of each scene was done well enough. I also liked Dracula's connection to different passengers. Like there's the old woman who he had danced with on her 18th birthday and everything, the night her mother disappeared and stuff like that. That was fascinating to me. But then like he was the business partner to Count Ruthven, I think his name was. Um, and like there were plans like in everything because of that, and even like the plan of marrying his wife was all part of this to get her money, because in reality he was like secretly in a gay relationship with the other guy. And then the doctor also, like, he was being sponsored by Dracula secretly under this other name, Belauer. And I don't remember. It's been a long ass time since I've read the actual story by Bram Stoker. It's been a long ass time, so I don't remember how much of this was actually in the novel. Um, like how many of these details or these characters or any of this. A lot of this might have been made up for the for the series, but I genuinely am not sure either way. But yeah, it's really interesting because with this going into the modern day now, we don't really finish the normal Dracula story like in the same way that it normally would. Because it's interesting because like you think of Mina Harker, her story's over in this now. Her story's just done. Her and her husband, it's like all of that's just done with. That was finished in the first episode. Nothing else is coming of that. She got away. She's fine. She's safe. She survived. Her descendants might exist, but she's she just got away, and that was the end of her story. And Agatha ended up being more of the connecting tissue throughout these episodes. And now with this being in the modern day, that takes a twist that I don't think anyone could have predicted, and is going to lead to some very fascinating things. I really enjoyed this, and I genuinely can't wait to see where this goes, but we will have to wait. Like I said before, we are going to do episode 3 at some point in the future. I just don't know when. It could be a couple weeks, could be a couple months. I don't know. I think it's been about 3-4 months since I did the first episode, so just look forward to it coming at some point in the future. I'm not going to even pretend to think about when that could be. We're just going to kind of have to wait and find out. So in the meantime, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down below. If there's anything specific otherwise that I didn't mention that you want to hear my thoughts on, I feel like there's not really much else I really need to talk about with this. I feel like most of my thoughts I got out during the reaction or just what I was just talking about there. It's like there's not really a huge amount I feel like I need to discuss. But if there is anything specific you want to know more of my thoughts on, please feel free to comment. I do read every comment, and I respond when I feel like I have something to say in response. So, yeah. If you have something to ask, feel free to ask. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.